Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co, and I just came back from Gencon 2024. And along the way, I came back with a lot of games. You can check out the haul video on the channel. I have a bunch of games that I wanted to pick up but didn't have a chance to. You can check that out in my last week in review, where I cover the 10 games I missed at Gencon that I wished I had grabbed but didn't, and will probably be trying to grab a bunch of them still. And then this video is 15 games from Gencon that you should be excited about that are not yet available. Well, I think they're all not available. Let's go ahead and talk about it 1 second, just make sure. I think they're all not available yet, but some of them will be available sooner than others, and we'll go into it. Well, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. Timestamps and links to everything down below, but these are the 15 games from Gen Con that I've learned a bit more about at Gen Con, and now I'm excited to tell you about them so that you can be possibly excited for them. And we're going to go ahead and start off with the one that's lowest down this list. Honestly, the last 2 or 3 I know the least about and I'm a little less excited about, but still excited for. Starting off with Tatsumi from Adam's Apple Games. Adam's Apple Games, who are famous for bringing you Planet Unknown. They have some other games, but Planet Unknown is their big hit. Tatsumi seems to be an interesting, almost abstract strategy game. Well, not almost. It's an abstract strategy game where players can be moving around this board. Your dragons flying around the board, and you're collecting resources in this over here. This is prototype. I assume things will be changing over here, but you can see this board over here. This looks intriguing as far as the general tactical abstract strategy nature of it. I am intrigued by this one. Don't know exactly where to land. Again, I'm a little uncertain. Like some aspects of the game really pull me in. Some aspects not yet so much, but it's from Adam's Apple Games, which already is a step in the right direction for me, and I generally like abstract strategy games. That's going to be Tatsumi, coming to you, I guess, I can assume coming to crowdfunding in 2025, I assume. Then we have Hedge Maze from Floodgate Games. Hedge Maze is one that actually was in crowdfunding with like almost no press, so it was on crowdfunding and then kind of canceled, didn't really take off, but I had a chance to check this one out briefly. I didn't get a chance to play this, so it's only based on what I've seen as far as the game's demo, but the general idea of planting out hedges and trying to be mindful of the various gnomes in your garden, being mindful of those little icons, where you put them and who they connect to, and the lines of sight in your garden. It seemed like an interesting take on the polyomino genre, and I tend to like the polyomino genre, so I am interested in finding out more about this one. Again, the overview I got made it sound compelling, but I haven't actually gotten a chance to play this one. Some of the games we're going to talk about today I got the chance to play, some of them not so much. Whenever I played it, I'm usually more excited, and whenever I didn't play it, I'm like, I'm interested, but the interested does not make for a great game. It just makes me for an interesting game. This is going to be Hedge Maze from Floodgate Games. Definitely in the interested party in this one. We have Clandestine from Brookspun Games, who previously brought you Destinies. Clandestine is going to be a game of rondels within rondels. You can be on this game on this board over here. You're going to be wandering around the board, and you can go into these little areas as well, taking actions within them. The amount of rondels is going to scale based on player count, but that means you have a lot of different tokens going on the board, a lot of meeples, a lot of almost Moncala / rondel style mechanisms in this game. It has me very interested. Art looks good, production looks good. Destinies was received very well, so that's always a good sign in the right direction. Definitely has me interested in this one as you play secrets, activate your leaders, uncover plots, all these things, discover relics, all that stuff in Clandestine. Seems intriguing. Definitely interested in finding out more on this. We have Tales of Arthurian Knights. This coming from WizKids, and this is the follow-up to the original Tales of the Arabian Nights, I want to say. So like Tales of the Arthurian Knights and Tales of the Arabian Nights. Clever pun on the Knights versus Knights over there. Managing to maintain both while not seeing gimmicky. But it's going to give you a choose-your-own-adventure game. They did seem to step up the mechanics of the game. I played Tales of the Arabian Nights way back when I first got into the hobby. I wasn't yet someone who appreciated story games at the time, and that combined with the game being like barely any mechanics in the game, I almost just choose an adventure, meant I bounced off it hard. I am intrigued to see this one, both because it upped the elements of the mechanics in the game, so there's more mechanical aspects to the game, but also because my own appreciation for story-based games has changed drastically in the past 9 years, and so I'm very interested. 9 years, I got 2011, the past 13 years, or 12 years, somewhere around then since I played Tales of the Arabian Nights, and so I am interested in finding out whether this one does or doesn't resonate with me. That's going to be Tales of the Arthurian Knights from WizKids Games. We have Ada's Dream from Alleycat Games. This is actually already on crowdfunding. I wasn't sure whether to count it because it's not yet available, but it was able to crowdfund, but you could late back it, and it's not technically available, so I'll still put it in this camp over here. But Ada's Dream from Alleycat Games definitely seems intriguing because it's got dice and rondels and separate areas of the board, which all those things appeal to me. The fact that you're going to be moving these dice over here and then bouncing dice off based on these shared values and then activating these different regions on the board. I generally like games where you have several different regions to activate and trying to choose where to lean in them. Even things as basic as Castle of Burgundy, like you have those basic colors to try to choose where you're going to specialize in and what you have to leave off to the side a little bit. Ada's Dream seems very compelling. Alleycat Games has a nice mix in their catalog of lighter, medium, and slightly heavier games. Ada's Dream seems to be slightly in the heavier medium category, and the overall mechanics seem to work for me, as well as the visual aesthetic of the game, so definitely very interested in Ada's Dream based on what I saw of it at Gen Con. Knitting Circle, coming to you from, well, Peacock Games is going to be the designer. She actually has her own game, Pirates of the High Teas, coming as well. But effectively, Knitting Circle is going to be a Calico game in the Calico universe from Flatout Games, in which you're going to be, let's see if I can scroll up over here. This board over here, you can kind of see over here. Is there more stuff you can see? Not really over here. But you can basically see over here, this game is going to give you these ways to build. You're drafting from the center pool these elements to knit scarves. So it's a Calico themed game, but it's not Calico. Don't walk into this game if you're expecting just Calico, but it is a game in the Calico universe, and Flatout Games has generally put out games that I've enjoyed, so I'm definitely interested in this one. I haven't played it yet, so it's in that interested, and the universe of Calico definitely does elevate it for me, and trusting Flatout Games elevates it for me, but ultimately I haven't yet played it, so this is still in the, I really hope I like it. They did a great job with the roll-right games. I love those. I'm curious whether I'll like Knitting Circle or not. Then we have T-Witches, which I know nothing about. This is, by the way, I should have said this order is ranked in order of least interested to most interested, which means the ones I've played more are definitely going to drift more towards the front. T-Witches is one that I have not played. I am very interested, coming to you from the off, with the art and design of Manny Vega and Sandra Tang, who did Dragon Flamecraft together. T-Witches is, well, the theme, honestly, I like the theme more already. The art is beautiful. They talked about the various components they're going to have. They're going to have little, like, teas, little things of tea where you can put colored cubes into it to illustrate the colors of tea, similar to what you can see on this picture. Mechanics wise, I don't have a lot of information. Honestly, what's right now what's carrying this for me is the publisher, the designer, the artist. It does seem to be a drop heavier than Flamecraft is what they said. That is something I asked about the weight class of the game, but only a drop heavier, so I'm very interested. It is one of those games that maybe I'll play it and be like, this is great for an audience, but I might not be that audience, but I don't know yet. And again, visually the game looks beautiful. The production I'm very excited for. Very interested in finding out more. That's T-Witches from the Op and Sandara Tang and Manny Vega. Then we have Dune Imperium Bloodlines. This is definitely a big deal as far as the announcement. More stuff for the Dune Imperium universe. More content for Dune Imperium, giving you powerful new tools with more commanders, more cars, this new sideboard thing going on over here. And so a lot of new stuff for the Dune universe. For me, I'm a little less excited. The reason this isn't higher up is, as much as Dune Rise of Ix completely elevated the base game of Dune for me, Dune Immortalia did nothing for me. I don't mind it. Did I call it Immortalia? Dune Immortality did nothing for me. The game... It's not a bad expansion. If I don't play the expansion, I don't care, and if I do play the expansion, I don't care. It didn't enhance my Dune experience, and so Bloodlines, I'm a bit more hesitant. Will I love it? Will I not? I haven't even played the new Dune. I haven't played it yet. I really should play the new Dune. Then we have Lord of the Rings: The Confrontation Ultimate Edition from Ghost Galaxy over here. This is a new version of Lord of the Rings, and Lord of the Rings: The Confrontation is an excellent, excellent game. It's a game I had in my collection for like 6-7 years. I did eventually get rid of it. I do find I am someone who, when there's a game I love, it's not always the case. Like, if I got rid of a game that didn't work for me, I'm not going to get back just because they have a new version. But very often there are games in the universe that I love, and eventually I move on from them, and I do find new versions often do make me want those games back. Whatever that game might be, I'll be like, I liked you, and I got rid of you because it wasn't working for my collection as much, I wasn't playing you as much, and then a new version comes out, I'm like, let me try this out. Now, I don't know what's going to go on with Lord of the Rings: The Confrontation. I don't know if I'm going to bother picking it up. I do love the visual aesthetic of the game already. It's definitely one that I have my eyes peeled for to find out more about this. I don't know if we don't have a lot of information on the page over here, so I'm definitely intrigued about this Ultimate Edition, but right now I'm in the, I love and have played Lord of the Rings: The Confrontation. It's a very tactical, strategic back and forth, as you kind of have elements of Stratego going on in the game, but it really, really works incredibly well. I don't like Stratego at all. I love how they incorporated Stratego into Lord of the Rings: The Confrontation, designed by Reina Knizia. Amazing experience. Very excited and intrigued. Don't yet know if I'll pick it up. We'll see. We'll find out. Then we have Panda Spin, which I have actually had a chance to play this one. Panda Spin from Moongate Design. I believe Matago's involved as well. This is a shedding game, so a trick-taking game, but in the shedding category, in which you're going to have a hand of cards, and you're going to be trying to get rid of your sets of cards. The thing that makes this one very compelling is cards have two sides to them, so as you play a card, if you did not successfully win the trick, then you get your cards back into your hands. So the other players shed their cards, you get your cards back, but you rotate them, and you have more powerful sides to them. And that gives you a really interesting element, a little layered flavoring as far as trying to figure out when you even want to lose a trick, because it'll set up different cards into your hand they can then use for your next trick. So this is a shedding game where you sometimes want to lose to improve your ability to shed further, which very fascinating. I'm very excited for Panda Spin, very excited for this one. I had a chance to play this one. I really enjoyed it, and my first play was almost a tease because I'm like, okay, I get this now. Now I want to play it more, but I haven't had a chance to play it more. So very intrigued by this one. Very excited. I like shedding games, and this this could be up there for shedding games. That little twist of wanting to lose so that you can win better later. Very, very interested in Panda Spin. Then we have Avalon the Riven Veil over here. Didn't get a chance to play this one. Did get a bit more information about the almost fog of war elements, the area control elements going on. I just got a kind of a brief demo of how the game operates, the asymmetric players, the various factions, and again, the nature of the accelerating across the 3 rounds of play, and the slow ascension of the fog of war and revealing more and more spots to score. So again, haven't actually played this, but I did get more information. I was already pretty excited about Avalon the Riven Veil, especially given Shadowborn games, and now I'm just more excited for Avalon the Riven Veil and when that one launches. We have the Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era. I managed to get this box right before Gen Con. I didn't get a chance to play it before Gen Con. I got a chance to play it a few times at Gen Con, so I will be diving into it more. I've already seen several people asking for a review. You can expect review coverage from me at some point, but I need to play it more. This is not one that I'm comfortable getting a play or two in and then reviewing it. I want to get a bunch of places in my belt. The pre-order this is tricky over here, because the pre-order is closing soon. Like, this right now is the last chance to go ahead and late pledge this game, late back the game, and I don't know if my coverage will be up before then or not. I may give up and do a first impressions coverage. I mean, I want more plays regardless, but I want to play it a bit more, see where it goes for me, and you'll either get a full review or first impressions before the pre-order closes, hopefully. I will try to do my best. What I can say is, having played this again, reaffirm that I really enjoy the game. I still think I like Too Many Bones better, but this is pretty solidly up there for me. That's going to be the Elder Scrolls Betrayal of a Second Era from Ship 3 Games. Then we have, coming in at number 3 over here, we have Citizens of the Spark from the Thunderworks Games. I got a chance to play this one for the first time. I've been excited for a while, and I had a chance to actually play this at Gen Con. This kind of is, what was it described as? It was described as, oh my gosh, it was described as Dominion meets something else, but I can't remember what something else was. That's going to bother me. Someone said it's like these two games combined, because I compare this. I played Citizens of the Spark, and it's like, it feels like Dominion. And then I was talking to the owner of Thunderworks. He said someone said it's the Dominion meets something, and I agreed with him completely, but I forgot what he said. But this does feel like a Dominion-esque style game. You're basically trying to build up your rows of cards over here, trying to gather various cards, because as you get more and more cards, they get more powerful, up until you have 3 of each card. But then in order to cash in on the effects, you have to give up the card. So there's a constant balance of your economy of when do you want to give things up for their abilities, versus when you want to hold on to get more powerful abilities. You hold on things too late, and you'll find the game ends before you're able to cash in on your engine. But you give things up too early, and your engine won't get strong enough. You combine that with the fact that every different game is going to have a different combination of cards in play, and it gives you a wide variety to the experience. I really enjoyed it. I said I played this a few times at Gen Con. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward. I think I got a shipping notification that the prototype is coming my way at this point, so I can cover for the crowdfunding campaign. I am very excited for Citizens of the Spark. I love this style of card game. I love the way these systems work, and I cannot wait to actually play this game in its well, I played it twice. I can't wait to continue to play this game. That's going to be Citizens of the Spark. Coming in number 2, we have Cyberpunk 2077, the board game from Go On Board. I had a chance to finally play this at Gen Con. I got like 3 or 4 plays of this one, going through this, and I really liked it. Now, I will say, I definitely had hesitations. This is not an app game in the typical sense. The app is going to be a timer. This is a real-time game. It has a real-time element similar to Project Elite. And by the way, it did feel very similar to Project Elite. It definitely had elements of overlap. I think I probably enjoy this one more, but I really need more plays with both systems to be able to say that authoritatively. But I think I probably enjoy Cyberpunk more. I really liked what they did. It managed to feel like Project Elite, but more variable and more teamwork. It really felt like there's a high element of teamwork as you go through these real-time elements, trying to play cards and trying to play off each other and figure out the right way to accomplish the mission in these little 2-minute rounds or 3-minute rounds, 4-minute rounds. It varies based on what scenario you're up to or what floor you're on. But effectively, this uses an app which will scare people off. The app is primarily used for the timer. A few other interactions are on the apps, and as you're adding 10 seconds or things like that happen in the game. But this was really, really, really fun. And not just like, I'm always cautious of these things. Like, if I play a game, like, sometimes I can be cult of the hype, I guess, cult of the future. So not always. Like, I play a lot of games that aren't out yet, and I'm like, I don't need that game. And then I play a lot of games that are, and I'm like, I love it. And then the question is, do I love it now? Was it just exciting at this point? Will it be exciting later? I can't say that for sure. What I can say is every single person I know who played this game, and I know several people who played this game at Gen Con, every single one walked away surprised and impressed by the game. And the key thing is surprised. Most of them, like myself, were walking into it expecting to be like, okay, that was good, that was fine. And all of us were pretty blown away by how good the game actually was, although low expectations can, I guess, help in that sense. But if you do have concerns or hesitancies around this game, around the nature of the real-time or the nature of the app, any of those things, I get that. And if you don't like real-time games, like if you played Project Elite and you don't like Project Elite, there's a chance you'll like this game, but I wouldn't take a gamble on it. Versus if you do like Project Elite, I think you should absolutely try this game. If you're intrigued by those kinds of games, I think this is a very, very, very good game. It will not be for everyone. fun. No game is. But this is definitely one of the ones that really impressed me at the convention. I am looking forward to it a lot. That's going to be Cyberpunk 2077. But then the one that takes the #1 spot is Minos Dawn of the Bronze Age from Board and Dice. And this is one that is not out yet. I think it's going to crowdfunding. I'm not sure. It's over here as a pre-order, so I don't actually know if it's going to crowdfunding. Now I'm just like, oh no, I think it's an estimate release. I'm sorry, it's an estimate release, not crowdfunding. But this is coming to you from Stan Kodonsky, which already has me interested. But then they sat down to tell me the game. Like literally, I sat down at Gen Con, they started showing me the game, and they started talking about the dice system as far as the stronger actions, and I was like, I then turned around and started to explain the game to them, having never played it. And they were like a little confused, and I was like, I've played Referral Dawn of Kiev, and this is the same action system as Referral Dawn of Kiev, with twists and with adjustments, and with an entirely different engine. You're playing a very different game than Referral Dawn of Kiev over here. But I love the system from Referral Dawn of Kiev. I love the little puzzle of trying to take your actions and figure out which actions are essential. When do you want to try to go ahead for a stronger action? What's the order of going first versus locking in those actions? The system from Referral Dawn of Kiev is one of my favorite games for a reason, and I'm very excited for any game that uses that system from the same designer. I don't know if it's going to be good or not, but it has me incredibly excited. Again, for me, it's such a funny moment because literally I was being taught the game and then turned around and started teaching the game, and they're like, did you know it? And I was like, no, I don't know this, but the system is... It's a good system. It's a good system. I've seen variations of the system used in many games. Like, many games have systems like that. But this exact system in its exact form that I love the best from any version of the system is only in Referral Dawn of Kiev, or at least I've only seen it in Referral Dawn of Kiev. Like, Lancaster has a similar system. I've seen other games that have similar systems. There was Lancaster. There's another game that had blind bidding recently. Luthier. Luthier has a similar system. So Lancaster and Luthier have similar systems, but Referral Dawn of Kiev has the best version of the system, and seeing it done in Minos Dawn of the Bronze Age has me incredibly excited for this game. If I didn't say incredibly excited a few times now, I can say it again. I'm incredibly excited for Minos Dawn of the Bronze Age. And that's what we have over here. These are the games I came back from Gen Con being the most excited for their future, for when they show up, for when you can go ahead and get them. These are the 15 games I am most excited for that weren't available at Gen Con, but you can get in the future. These are those 15 games. Let me know which one excites you the most over here. From these 15, let me know both what excites you the most. And if you were at Gen Con and you saw something else, or even if you just know what games are coming from Gen Con, if there's anything else that was showcased at Gen Con that you're excited for when that one shows up, let me know in the comments down below. Until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I hope you have a good one.